Hi folks, Billy Graham. I would love to introduce you to my sport, boxing. The sweet science, the original art of self-defence. I was only 8 when I was taken to a boxing gym by the local cop. And as we walked across the park towards an old army hut, the sound of a heavy punching bag could be heard echoing through the old wooden rafters. As we got closer, we heard the speedballs rattling away. We stepped up in the gym. It was bedlam. The strong smell of liniment was rife. The room was full of activity. Leather skipping ropes on ball-bearing races were whirling through the air with a whistling tap-dancing sound on the floor. Medicine balls were being thrown to and fro into the boys' stomachs, putting ripples in them. A coach was wrapping a fighter's hands. It only took a couple of minutes, but a doctor couldn't have done a better job. He pulled the gloves on, leather gloves filled with horses' hair, a smell all of their own. He smeared Vaseline on the lad's eyebrows, put his headgear on. In you go, son. The fighter climbed through the ropes and stepped in the rosin tray. He shuffled his feet and glided round the ring. They call it shadowboxing, waiting for a sparring partner to join him. I ran my eyes over this scene. I took a deep breath. I said to myself, I'm home, I'm hooked. This is for me. I love it. It's a different sort of lad that takes up boxing. They normally come from the wild sides of town. They'll learn discipline, respect for themselves and their opponent, and a training concept that's second to none. You meet the best and the worst in this game, but the friends you make are for life. You play rugby, you play cricket. You don't play boxing. You love boxing. It's a passion. Now I want to introduce you to some of boxing's most colourful characters. Some of the stories are sad, some are funny, and some about overcoming the odds. Few come away with much money. In spite of earning a fortune, there's always a price to pay. But not a fighter have I met that would have had it any other way. Now, the last bare-knuckle fight for the heavyweight championship of the world was in 1889. John L Sullivan was the people's champion, a national hero. He was as popular as Ali was in his day. He was called the Boston Strong Boy. He was a personal friend of 3 US presidents. The Duke of Edinburgh called him my friend. Sullivan said of him, nice chap, you know, and likes boxing as well. Sullivan also had his enemies. One such was the editor of the Police Gazette, Richard J. Fox. Sullivan refused a command to drink it at Fox's table. Fox was furious at the rejection and vowed to make him pay for the insult. He searched the world for a man that would give the great John L Sullivan a hiding. Fox thought he had found his man in England. His name was Kilrain, Jake Kilrain. He was young and strong and had beaten everyone in the world but Sullivan. John L refused the challenge. It would have nothing to do with Fox or Kilrain. So a belt was presented by Fox on behalf of the Police Gazette to Kilrain, acknowledging him as heavyweight champion of the world instead of John L. Sullivan's backers weren't slow to react. They made a belt out of gold with 397 diamonds in it. It was a showpiece, so it was worth a fortune. Sullivan told Fox, I'll fight your man and give him a hiding and he can keep his belt for a dog collar. It's Monday morning, 8th of July, 1889. Word had spread like wildfire. It's on. The fight is on. The fighting advance had been in eager anticipation of this news. There were thousands of visitors in New Orleans from all over the world, waiting for this very event. No one talked too loud about it, for it was against the law to fight, or even to attend a fight, but it was on everyone's lips. The train slipped down the early hours of the morning, filled to the brim with licorice all sorts. Gamblers, hookers, salesmen and buskers. They say Frank and Jesse James, the gunfighters, were on board the train, but not to rob it. Not today, anyway. Wyatt Earp from OK Corral fame was there with the marshal from Dodge City, Bat Masterton. Did I say this fight was against the law? You gotta be joking. Oscar Wilde, writer and poet, was on board, covering the fight for England. 46 carriages full to overflowing rolled into Mississippi Station. Overnight, a stadium had been built to hold the huge crowd. Men jumped off the train with stakes and ropes in hand to set the ring up 24 by 24. The purse, $25,000, was placed in the stakes. It was 110 degrees in the shade. The fighters stepped in the ring. Kilrain was first in black tights and blue stockings. His body was in peak condition. He looked marvellous. He glared at Sullivan as he climbed through the ropes. John L had a grin on his face. Kilrain didn't know why. Kilrain was told that Sullivan was fat and in bad health. The day will be yours, they'd said. But Sullivan dropped his gown and the crowd roared. His body was gnarled as teak. He spun in a circle. He flexed his back muscles. He looked straight into Kilrain's face. Kilrain was visibly shaken. Gamesmanship, I love it. The fight was a war, with both men taking heavy punishment. To the turf they were thrown, one after the other, with thunderbolt strikes. Neither man would give an inch, round after round in the blazing sun. In the 25th round, Sullivan threw up. The whiskey he'd been taking between rounds, medicinal purposes of course, had started to take its effect. Kilrain shouted, "Give up, John, you're a beaten man, the day is done." But Sullivan retorted, "Defend yourself, I can fight like this till tomorrow night," and he meant it. After 79 rounds, Kilrain could take no more. His seconds threw the sponge in. They were scared Sullivan would kill their man. After the fight, the crowd quickly dispersed, but Sullivan and Kilrain were arrested. They both spent time in jail. Sullivan was seen as a villain and fined $20,000, more than his share of the purse. The law was a final victor. This was the last official world championship with bare knuckles. This is Billy Graham. Over, but not out. Round 2 coming up.